Good morning, everyone. My name is Hiroshi of Hitotsubashi University. The purpose of the seminar is the Japanese higher education institution needs to shift their international recruitment and admissions from the old-fashioned on-campus exam-based approach to the global standard model, diversifying their markets into the world. And then I would think English taught degree programs can be or should be a breakthrough on this matter. I want a quick overview of our current situation. Japanese higher education, large private sector, reasonable tuition fees, less than 30% of international students receive some form of scholarship from the government. And then we are in the middle of 300,000 international student plan. So the number of universities increased, and now is a little bit decreasing because we don't have enough students. So we say in Japan now it's called an age when all are accepted to college. Problem now is the enrollment problem. Private universities case, about 40% they don't have enough students. The national universities case, especially graduate school in the humanities and social sciences, they heavily rely on international students. We need also international students in the STEM field. So the objectives and the policy rationales for increasing international students also changing. Institutional level is a polarizing. One type of university, usually those leading university, English taught courses and programs are increasing. But at the same time, the many private universities facing the enrollment problems, so revenue generating approach also becoming common. And then national level, we need a people for the future workforce. So skilled migration approach is also prevailing. And many universities now have a career placement service for international students. And then this year is the highest number of international students that graduate, they got a job in Japan. But reality in last 10 years, international student number has been stagnated. And our primary market of the international student, China, Korea, Taiwan, those people are not coming to Japan anymore. Then more people from Vietnam, Nepal is coming, Indonesia also coming. It's changing the demography of the international student in Japan. Also, this is Japanese language school. It's more clear. The 70% of the international students coming to study for a bachelor degree first go to language school. Language school act like a port of entry. And then they study the Japanese language and then apply for universities. Also, another thing I would say, more than 90% of international students in Japan, they are degree-seeking students. That's very interesting compared with other Asian countries. And then typical model of the international student, privately financed, degree-seeking Chinese student enrolled in undergraduate programs, majoring humanities and the social sciences. These are majority, but it's decreasing the number. But also graduate programs, typical path from home country. First, they also come to Japanese language school, and they apply for private universities undergraduate program, then move to the national universities graduate program. But if admitted by leading research universities, they just go to the postgraduate from undergraduate straight. This is an unsweet model. And then reflecting the capacity of enrollment, discipline, and the research, national universities are dominant, especially STEM field, and then tuition fees, more scholarship opportunity. That's why they go to the more national university. So university heavily rely on the domestic market of international students, means university themselves, they don't recruit international students abroad. In Hitotsubashi's case, often we recruit postgraduate level international students from Waseda, Keio, Toyo, or those private universities in downtown Tokyo. So English taught programs, recruitment point of view, the intention is to lower the language barrier and break into the new market to increase the inflow and diversity of international students. when you look at this statistic, you have seen many programs now fully taught in English. Behind of this increase, of course, Global 30 project is there. 13 Global 30 universities increased the number of the programs offered in English intended for international students. But the majority of ETD programs in Japan are basically more small scale, presented like a show window. It's kind of symbol or brand of so-called internationalization to appeal domestic market. But from my point of view, this is make-believe internationalization. Differences of international student recruitment admissions, especially foreign credential evaluation process. Only one non-profit organization that provides services. And screening method, still we use on-campus entrance exam and face-to-face interview. And the application fee is very expensive in Japan, in the private university. Using commissioned recruiters, not common. And transfer students, very rare, because we cannot transfer those credits. That's a problem. Online applications increasing, but still it's not so common. So the urgent matters, we have to improve international recruitment admission process. I think first of all, we have to think about student quality control. On-campus exam, control the student quality input level, admission level. But I think the world standard is more concerned about output control. How much you educate, how much the learning outcome of the program. In order to have a good quality student, we also need a quantity, critical mass. Higher education must be for public good. But in the reality, market mechanism is really working well. So need to embark on the proactive recruitment and the smooth user-friendly admission process. Now in a global trend, common application. Even across university, the same application. Document screening only method, pre-departure admission, that needed. And online interview using Skype or those things. Increase transfer admissions from higher educations abroad. They study some point, they got credit. We have to transfer. Establish a national center for foreign credential evaluation to support higher education institution international admissions office. Otherwise, the university can't work well for those credential evaluation. That's the issue. Challenges and opportunities. 100,000 international planned age, we didn't have to promote anything. I worked for Toyo University at the time. Tons of application came. That's all days. Existing program accepted international students from the special door. That's our model. We have to forget about it. Improve pre-departure arrangements. This is also the problem. If you really want to recruit students from outside the country, you have to prepare. You have to provide residence halls and also scholarship too. Once you are enrolled in Japanese university, then they can apply for the scholarship, majority of them. But they need a scholarship when they are accepted. And the English taught degree programs can gain access to greater but more competitive market. And revisit study in Japan. We have to kind of rebuild the meaning of study in Japan. Quality assurance, how we can improve those English taught courses, how we can recruit the professors, instructors. Many ETD programs do not welcome international students. Even everything is taught in English, certain level of Japanese are needed because our school, most of them everything is conducted in Japanese. Lastly, I would say this word, admission is not the science but art. I study and work for SUNY Buffalo. My former boss, Stephen Shaw, often said, admission is not the science but art. So not like just one-shot exam. There's a cut line, accepted, not the way. More holistic approach is needed.